Hello and welcome everybody, my name is Pete and this is Nairobi. So today I want to talk about this issue of closing of bars in residential areas. Sakaja went ham. Sakaja decided to go after everybody. So let's get into it. Alright, so this started with Sakaja giving out a warning. I've always had a feeling that this was coming. After all these, you remember earlier in the year when this issue arose, and then they were going after Loft and I don't know which other clubs around residential areas, and also the issue with Trevor Umbija and his establishment in Kileleshwa, sorry. This was without a doubt coming. And finally, it did really come. With this government, nothing surprises me anymore, especially things of this nature. Given these guys are the pious ones, this was on the way. All right, so Sakaja said no nightclubs in residential areas, and then he posted the public notice on noise from bars and restaurants. And yeah, I guess he was serious about this. And immediately after that, he also followed up with a tweet: last call, no nightclubs in residential areas. And then there was, I guess, security operation briefing that night. And Kenyans being Kenyans, we don't really believe anything until tuone hawa makarao wamekuja kwa establishment. And they did come. And they did come, in all seriousness. So Sakaja was, I guess somebody must be pushing him. I don't really think it's his initiative, to be honest. Siye pia ni mtu wa sherehe ama namna gani ama amewacha. You know, with this government, everybody is reforming, man. You must toe the line, I guess. But it really did happen. And let's just have a tweet from Citizen TV Kenya. Nairobi nightclubs raided. 17 people arrested in raids on nightclubs in Nairobi. The clubs are accused of noise pollution in residential areas. President Ruto backs Sakaja's crackdown on nightclubs. This is a report by Citizen TV. And there's also a video item on this element. So let's watch that and then we continue.
Well, 17 people were on Sunday night arrested and music equipment impounded after the Nairobi County government officials raided nightclubs in residential areas. The raid comes after Governor Johnson Sakaja cancelled licenses for nightclubs operating in residential areas following public uproar over noise pollution. And as Mashirima Kapombe now reports, the move has also received President William Ruto's approval.
The operation that was kicked off by a tweet by Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja began in Langata constituency at 1824 Bar, one of over 43 bars in the county listed for noise pollution. Revelers were caught off guard.
Bars zimefunguliwa Kilimani, kila siku zinafunguliwa mpya, si ndio? Kwa heshima hii imeexist for the last 10 years. Imeemploy watu 200. Hii ni hustler economy gani yenye wanafanya na wanafanya watu wanakuwa jobless?
Kindly I'm making a plea to the President of Kenya to get another solution, because the common mwananchi, we are the one who are suffering. It's really unfortunate and we never expected this.
The law enforcement officers arrested the DJ at the bar and impounded the equipment. The staff in charge were also arrested. Pistol Bar and Grill was next, where similar arrests were made and equipment impounded.
An order was issued on 25th, which was on Friday, that all licenses to bars and restaurants and discos within residential areas have been cancelled, and so there is now should no bar that is operating beyond 10 p.m.
The officers' convoy then made its way to Lavington area at the Oyster Bar. This time, the police seized the equipment and arrested the proprietor of the club. The convoy then proceeded to Mudangari area's 909 Palanca Bar and Restaurant, which at the time had only 3 revelers.
Whenever drunk customers exhibit very bad behavior in front of children, and that's why the county government, amongst the other considerations, these places should be closed and relocate, and these businesses should be situated in the CBD.
The operation then moved on to Kasarani constituency at Loft Lounge and Claret Bar. But at the Loft Lounge, revelers had gone into hiding. Despite cries by business owners, the Nairobi governor says order will be restored in the city.
Your Excellency, on that one we will not relent. Let us be thoughtful to other people. If you have refused to soundproof, if you have refused to provide access, then do your business in a different place. But let our children have peace. Let them sleep.
The police concluded the operations in Donholm's Buruburu area, where all 8 targeted clubs were closed. An operation that's set to restore peace and serenity to residents of Nairobi County has caught the president's eye.
My young brother, Sakaja of Nairobi, that please keep the noise away from our children. You have our support. You have our support in ensuring that our city, I know I have discussed with you this before, and you have my support.
So yeah, what I find curious about this, it's actually kind of ironic that it is Trevor Umbija who is speaking on that issue. Him being the culprit numero uno. But yeah, it happened. So Sakaja decided to go after these people. As I was saying, what I find curious about this is they went after 1824. As you hear from that video, there's a guy who is complaining that this 1824 has been here for 10 years, a decade. And just overnight, they decided to shut it down. Well, not really shut it down, but impose this rule of noise pollution on 1824, which has been operating for over a decade. So there is some sort of friction in this particular case. I would say there are some legit cases of these bars that are operating, clubs that are operating in smack deep in the residential areas, and they are quite a nuisance. Quite a nuisance for noise, quite a nuisance for drunkards doing stupid shit. And these being residential areas, you have kids and whatnot, parking, that kind of stuff, scaffolds, the usual drunk shenanigans. There are some cases where this is legitimately viable, but in some cases, like for 1824, I think we can give 1824 some leeway, man. But that is just me. All right. So going to your tweets, this is Citizen TV again, but from the Grand Mullah. So the Grand Mullah says, we must support Governor Sakaja Johnson in chasing drunkards out of our neighborhoods. Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi. So Grand Mullah is for this, and I would not be surprised. Charity Kihika Charity says, I'm with you on kicking out bars from the estates. May God protect you from the cartels. Those before you claimed they deterred them from working for the Nairobi people. And you said they were just lazy and full of excuses. I am with you on this. So this lady is totally agreeing with these actions by Governor Sakaja. But not everybody is on board with this. Gabriel Oda says, cracking down on noisy pubs is receiving support from the godly men at State House, but cracking down on noisy churches and mosques is where they draw the line. Fair enough, he has some valid points there. So, Sakaja, are you gonna go after these churches that hold crusades during the night? Are you gonna go after mosques? Is that possible even? For the churches, I think we can be rational about the churches. Sometimes churches do go overboard, and they are in residential areas and they have these overnight crusades, and they make a lot of noise, quite a nuisance. But for the mosques, man, come on. For the mosques, I don't think mosques have this noise issue as such, like for overnight and whatnot. They only have the call to prayer, which is a cultural thing as well, and a religious thing as well. I don't think it's a nuisance. To be honest, I quite frankly do enjoy that call to prayer. If the issue is the timing, then get used to it. Somebody else who is in disagreement with Governor Sakaja's actions is Natasha Kimani at Washera K. And she says, a government, national or county, that is actually serious about the well-being of Kenyans would first publish and then publicize the new zones. What are the residential areas in Nairobi? That's number one. Number two, which areas will be affected by new regulations, but no violence? Must be a kink. So she's for the, first of all, stating out point blank which areas are regarded as residential areas, and then maybe stipulating which areas will be affected by the new regulations, not just enacting regulations overnight and then, affecting people. And as you saw from that Citizen TV news article, people are complaining that they've lost jobs. Vijana watapoteza sasa job from these closures of these establishments, which is a valid point in that. So I want to assume that before they go to that point, there must have been consultations. But who knows? Maybe these consultations was just done in-house without stakeholders, and this is why we are where we are at. But at the end of the day, I am seeing that this government is bent on just straightening things out, from security to this supposed nuisance from bars and entertainment establishments in residential areas. And they're going to stick with it if this is anything to go by. So what do you guys think? Do you support it or do you not support it? Looking at the comments mostly on Twitter, it seems most of Kenyans are actually in agreement with this. Kina Robert Alai were the first champions for this. Kina Emato, I'm pretty sure she's very happy about this development, because we all know the kind of troubles that she's been in regarding this issue. So that is the situation. I don't know if there's anything anymore to unfold, but Sai, kama wewe you're used to drinking in these establishments, man, after alternatives. I am guessing house parties will now become a thing again, but who knows? We shall see. All right, that's it for now. Until next time, bye-bye.
Dynasty Baya, acha tawara boss. Nani ataware? Tawara boss. Koli tawara. Sayunaliaje?